Hello and welcome back to our channel, Raising Minds podcast, which is coming soon, I promise, in 2025, before this year ends. But before I return this book back to the library, I'm a huge fan of the local libraries around here. I read this book, Alfred Adler's Understanding Human Nature, The Psychology of Personality. And it was actually the first time I read Adler's work. I've read Rudolf Dreikwer's Children the Challenge, but all of Positive Discipline is based on the work of Alfred Adler. And this was, I thought, a fascinating book if you are a psychologist or educator. Otherwise, this was written in 1927, and it was in another language. He's Austrian, and it was, what's that word? Translated to English. So it's definitely like not an easy read, but a very fascinating one. And I'm so excited to delve deeper into Adler's work this year as I am growing as a facilitator in Positive Discipline. So I just wanted to read a little bit about Adler. I'm just going to read. He has a great conclusion, which is just like a page, and then just some of the key terms. And this gives you a really great insight into individual psychology. And many people are studying Adler's work now, and they're called Adlerians. And it's Alfred Adler's amazing work. So I'm excited to delve deeper into it. So Alfred Adler was born in 1870 and died in 1937. So not too long of a life. Viennese psychologist. He was a contemporary of Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, and the father of individual psychology. He remains one of the most influential figures in modern psychology and psychotherapy. Among Adler's most significant contributions are his emphasis on holism, arguing that one must study and treat the patient as a whole person. The central role he gave to equality in preventing psychopathology, and the importance of developing democratic family structures to the raising of children. And that is what Lynn Lott and Jane Nelson did after studying Alfred Adler for a whole semester. Jane says, she said, the teacher said, you will be studying this one philosophy of psychology, and we are going to be, she was getting her doctorate in education, and we are going to be, using this in our education. This is what education systems should be based on. His most famous concept is the inferiority complex, which addresses the problem of self-esteem and its negative compensations. Other seminal theories include the importance of birth order in the formation of personality, the impact of neglect or pampering on a child's development, the ability to work with others for a common good, social interest. He speaks a lot of this social interest. That's what I learned most. That was my big aha. As the hallmark of sound mental health. And the idea that individuals develop a story about themselves in early childhood, a lifestyle that guides their perceptions and choices throughout life. Adler was also among the first psychologists to stress the importance of feminism. I love that part of it. Arguing that the power dynamics between men and women and associations with gender are crucial to an understanding of human beings. So again, I said this was, I think the first copy was in 1927. So him speaking about feminism was not talked about. And that's where I do know for a fact that Rudolf Dreikurs and Maria Montessori were also contemporaries, but I do not think that she met Alfred Adler, but also because he passed away in 1937, so a little too young. After serving as a medical doctor in World War I, Adler founded a system of child guidance clinics that spread throughout Europe. He was personally involved in training teachers, social workers, doctors, and psychiatrists in his techniques, and lectured widely in America, where he moved in 1935. Adler died in 1937, leaving more than 300 articles and books on child psychology, marriage, education, and the principles of individual psychology. His best-known works include Understanding Human Nature, which is what I just read, Understanding Life, What Life Could Mean to You, and Social Interest, which I love the word, and I do this in all my positive discipline trainings, but it's Gemeinschaftsgefühl. So Gemeinschaftsgefühl, because he was an Austrian psychologist, he said that there really wasn't a translation to English. But in this book, which I think was translated in 1990, he uses social interest. Social interest is the word that keeps on coming back. So I'm gonna just read the conclusion because it really is awesome. And then I'm gonna have to do those key terms in another video because I don't like to make these too long. We have attempted to show in this book that the psyche is not determined by hereditary factors. That was another huge aha. Its development is entirely conditioned by social influences. On the one hand, the demands of the organism must find fulfillment. And on the other, the demands of human society must be satisfied. It is in this context that the psyche develops, and under these conditions that it grows. So you could see why his work is used in positive discipline, which is in, I think, over 50 countries, and many schools are really developing their social emotional learning curriculum, which is so great that this is all happening. We have investigated this is a little dry, but I love it. We have investigated this development further and have discussed the capabilities and faculties of perception, recollection, feeling, and thought. Finally, we've considered traits of character and emotions, and we've shown that all of these phenomena are connected by indivisible bonds, that on the one hand, they are subject to rules of communal life. And on the other, they are influenced by individuals striving for power and superiority. So he is the doctor that coined that superiority complex and the inferiority complex. And we all have it. We all have this strive of superiority. So it's not a bad thing. I think sometimes that it can be like thought of as a bad word. Not really, but superior and inferior, but it's the complex is when it goes wrong. So when we're all striving for superiority, which again, find fascinating as I'm learning about it deeper. The two forces work on each person's psyche and express themselves in a specific individual and unique pattern. We have shown how the individual's goal of superiority, modified by social feeling, Gemeinschaftsgefühl, according to the degree of its development, that was in parentheses, according to the degree of its development, gives rise to specific character traits. So that's what we do in our positive discipline workshops, is it's character development too. If you understand child development, they learn by role modeling, and so they're role modeling their adults, possibly their siblings, and you're teaching character traits. Such traits are in no way hereditary, but are developed in such a way that they fit into the pattern of personal psychological development and lead in a consistent direction to the goal that is constantly present, more or less consciously for everyone. So that's that whole conscious and the unconscious is in there. I'm almost done. Bear with me. If you want to read more, if you want to learn more about Adler, let me know, because I've been learning about this work for over 15 years, and I'm just so fascinated with how much it helps human, the mind health. So this is big. His work was based on developing health and wellness in a whole human, and Freud just kept on like pushing these guys around, and like, I don't know, I just really wish I had their now we are all understanding his work, how, and the importance of it with the, I would say, epidemic of mental unwellness in our society. A number of these character traits and feelings, which are valuable indicators for the understanding of a human being, have been discussed at some length, whereas others have been passed over. We have shown that a degree of ambition and vanity, there was a lot of vanity they talked about, that was a little old, but it appears in all human beings. So this is where like they saw, like, we all are born with some of these traits. And striving, and our brains are all here for a reason, according to their individual method of striving for power. In its expression, we can clearly discern an individual's struggle for superiority and observe its particular manifestation. We have also shown how exaggerated ambition and vanity prevent a person's orderly development. So that was interesting too, and I'll tell you more about it in another video. But the growth of social feeling is either stunted or made quite impossible because of the disturbing influence of these two traits. Not only is the evolution of social feeling inhibited, but power hungry individuals follow a path to their own destruction. This law of psychological development seems to us irrefutable. It is a vital guideline for any human beings who wish to determine their own destiny consciously and openly, rather than allow themselves to be the victim of dark and mysterious psychological forces. Our research takes the form of experiments in the science of human nature, and that's what I love about all of Adler's and Dreiker's work. A science that cannot otherwise be taught or cultivated. The understanding of human nature seems to us indispensable to every person, and the study of this science, the most important activity of the human mind. And I agree with that fully. And my timer is going off because I have to go pick up a child. But like I said, he was the founder of individual psychology, Alfred Adler, and then Rudolf Dreikers brought his work and did it more in America and then in the child guidance centers. It is so fascinating. So I have to go return this book to the library, and I'm getting another one. So talk to you soon. KristenAnchor.com if you have any questions, and comment below if you've ever heard of Alfred Adler and any of your big ahas of individual psychology. All right, talk to you soon.